What's going on, brothers? This is black man. We have this dejected look. It's this unhealthy hate, and that's okay. I think that as a black man, you should have this healthy hate towards white people. That's totally okay. I'm totally fine with that. You see, I'd say that uh, when you, as a man, you look at slavery, like I think about black women and what they've been through in slavery. I think I was listening to some brother. Oh, I was reading something, some type of article or something as to where they were saying that black women, they used to drown their babies so that the babies wouldn't have to deal with slavery and go through slavery. That's deep, man. So yeah, you can harbor that healthy hate. It's good for a black man to have this healthy hate. You see? And I want to shout out to my boy T40. All my brothers know all the old school, all the OG Moors. I want to shout out to T40. They know about T40. They know what's up with the big T40. He talked about the difference between a racism and just being prejudiced. So it's like if a person is just being prejudiced, they could, it's like you could be prejudiced against like white sneakers versus black sneakers, or like you could have this prejudice against a couch versus a chair, something like that. You see, it's prejudice. Like I'd say most white people in America, or I'd say about half of them, they're prejudiced. They don't want to delete us, or like they don't want our destruction, but they just don't like us as black people. That's just being prejudiced. That's just what it is. They don't want your destruction. They just dislike you. They're just prejudiced. That's all. Now, racism is something totally different. Racism is when these particular people want your economic destruction. You see? In a sense, they want to wipe you out. They don't want you to be able to survive. They want to set up certain blockades in your community so you can fail, such as drugs, illegal guns, just turning out the women, setting up, because women are very gullible, especially black women. They'll buy weave and twerk and all of this just ignorant, malevolent behavior, you see? And yeah, that's what being racist is. When you want to, in a sense, totally eradicate a person or particular people, you see? That's racism right there. And that's what occurred way back. And it's like, so like as I look at slavery for black men, as black men back in the days, our ancestors, black men, we used to get castrated. And like you look at a lot of black women, they were house Negroes. So in a sense, they were living okay. They were still in slavery, but they were living okay. Black Negro men like me, I'm out there in the field. There's no use for me. I'm picking cotton, getting whipped. There's really no use. Matter of fact, there is no use for me. Probably to breed me. Light-skinned brothers, you guys are house Negroes. I'm out there in the field. Most of us, if more brothers, we out there in the field. You see? In the sun, getting burnt all the way up. But yeah, so it's like you can have this healthy hate. It's okay to have that healthy hate. Yeah. When I see white men, I don't speak to them. They speak to me first. They'll say hi to me. Of course, I'm diplomatic. When they speak to me, then I'll say what's up to them. You know, hey, yeah, I'm diplomatic. No, sir, none of that stuff. Nah. Unless it's like some type of business transaction and like they will reciprocate. I'm totally fine with that. But I have no respect for white men, not at all. And in a sense, like that's one of the problems when it comes down to dating white women. Because I mean, well, then again, sometimes I just don't know no better. Well, years and years ago, I just didn't know no better. I would talk to a white woman about a black man's problem, and of course, she wouldn't understand. You can't do that. Like you can't. Yeah, I'm starting to learn. It's like you have to refrain from doing stuff like that. But in a sense, I didn't know no better. I don't know no better. You see, and it would always be out of just wanting somebody to talk, somebody to open up to, and just to just somebody to talk to about certain things. But it sounds like a woman, you can't do that. You have to reach out to other black men. A woman, you can't confide in a woman, of course. That's a no-go. You keep things away from women. Keep things hidden from women. You always lie to women. You always lie to them. Because that's what they want anyway. You ask a woman coming to you, your wife asks you, she's fat or her makeup sucks. And she asks you, hey babe, how does my makeup look? Now, if you was to tell her the truth, because see, us men, we want the truth. We okay with the truth. We're not as emotional as women. See, we're a little bit more stoic and a little bit more stolid. Your wife or girlfriend asks how does her makeup look? And if you tell her the truth, she's going to get emotional. It's going to be a problem. You see, one of my boys can tell me that I'm fat. Oh, I look anorexic, I'm skinny, I'm fine. I mean, hey, it's not a big deal. I don't care. I mean, thanks for the constructive criticism. I'm cool with that, my man. If I have to lose some pounds, I'm going to lose the pounds. Or if I need to gain some muscle or something like that, I'm cool with that. I mean, yeah, I get in the gym and I do that. Yeah, I do that. But not with a woman. You can't do that with a woman. She'll get all emotional. She'll bring it up a week later. Oh, you call me fat or I look ugly in my dress. So you have to lie to him, man. Of course, if you cheating on him, you lie to him. You don't never tell him the truth, man. Because you want to save her feelings. It's almost like she's like a child. So you got to lie to him. Even if she want the truth, that'll still bother her in the future. And she'll throw it in your face in the future. So you can't apologize to women, even if you've done something wrong. No, you don't apologize to women. Shout out to the boy. Shout out to Last Crucible. That's something that you just don't do. Us as men that we don't do. Because then she won't respect you. She won't respect you. You're still supposed to discipline her, correct her, reprimand her, even if you did something wrong. Bottom line. I know she'll probably look at you like you're narcissistic. Oh, well. Because, see, we can apologize to other men, and another man will still respect you, but not women. Women that look at that as weakness. So you don't do that. You should never, ever do that. You always lie to them. Always. But yeah, so it's like this healthy hate. It's almost like black men, we walking around with no smiles, man. Like Tupac saying, Scarface saying one of his songs, just smile for me. It's hard to smile out here for black men. I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, where it was predominantly black people. Now it's starting to become diverse. But it was drugs men sold, guys on the corner yelling, hey, rocks and blows, you got weed over here, dude selling weed right on the block. I moved to Missouri. There's none of that going on here. In Chicago, in Louisville, Kentucky, there was no smiles. I rarely seen dudes smiling. Never. A dude would take that for weakness. There's really no happiness amongst black men. You see a lot of black women getting their way and getting what they want, but you rarely see no smiles, man. Us as brothers, we look like we are in this third world country living in America because there's really no smiles amongst black men. We're truly not happy because you can't have a woman. No, she'll leave you and divorce you and take your kids and throw you on child support. So you really can't smile. The white man has turned our black women against us. You see? And it's almost like if we do try to make some strides in America, this is why we can't cohabitate and we just can't do it. We can't cohabitate with white people, man. We just can't. Because they're racist. There's a small sector, well, it's a certain sector of the elitist white people that are racist. And they want a black man's destruction. This is why you look at guys like R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. Shout out to Mel Lightning TV and Black Ram over there with their live stream. They were saying that white superiors, they don't want us as black people to have somebody to look up to. Barack Obama was nobody. He was in office and he supported women and the LGBT movement and Mexicans. He didn't help black people. Well, not black people, but black men. Because I can care less about black women. You know, they're just followers. I can care less about women, period. They're just followers. But he didn't help black men. A lot of black people, we were totally hoodwinked because we thought that, you know, Barack Obama was going to be our savior. The second coming. But nah. This dude, this man is mixed. I never heard black dudes in black communities have a name like Obama, Barack. Like, I never heard of that. Never. So really, this dude is not even black. He was put there in office to deceive us. Because, you know, a lot of old heads, a lot of old school black men, like a lot of older black men, like my uncles and this and that, they kind of ignorant, so it's like they don't care. They really can't see beyond the veil. They're just happy because he was a black man in office. Oh man, this will never happen again, probably for another 50 years. Well, at least we had a black president. But what did he do for black people? Well, for black men, he didn't do nothing for us. You see? In a sense, I feel it's worse for the black community and for black men. So yeah, just having this, us as black men, we have this dejected look on our faces on a daily basis. Then we have to deal with rudimentary, ratchet black females. It's almost like our black women are a product of what white men has made them out to be. Black men, we really can't make no strides here in America because whenever we take 2 steps forward, that's almost like taking 2 steps back. Because a white man, he was set up certain blockades. I know it was some brother, he made some podcast, and he was saying that he traversed overseas. And it's almost like racism and prejudice, people being prejudiced, it doesn't exist in certain countries overseas. I was like, wow, imagine that. Imagine that. Certain countries, they don't even have guns. So you're not worried about getting shot or genocide or something like that. You don't have to worry about that. That's almost like heaven. I was like, wow, I would love to go over there and visit countries like that. Live over there. If I had the money, I would leave America and I would never ever come back, bro. Whoever want to stay here, you guys can keep it. I get with a certain amount of brothers, we go over there and we try to establish some things. Come together in unison as a cohesive unit. That's what I would like. That would be dope. Because we can't do it over here in America. We can't cohabitate with white people. We can't. With the enemy. We can't. So in a sense, it's good for the black man to have this healthy hate. You got some black men that will dismiss slavery. Yeah, I'd say brothers like that, they're just brainwashed in a sense. They just don't know what we've been through as far as our ancestors' history. It was some white guy who left a comment in the comment section on a YouTube video. He was like, "Well, why don't you guys just pick up and go back over there to Africa?" Yeah, I would happily go back over there to Africa. I just need my 40 acres and a mule. Just give me that, man. Give me about 9 million personally, and I'm out. I would never ever come back. Never. I would never ever come back. Never. It's almost like living here in America, in a sense, black men, we still deal with the aftermaths of slavery. Just look at our women. I can't see no black relationship as to where the man is truly dominant and he's superior in that relationship. All black relationships I see in America, the man is equal to the woman. Everything he can do, she can do. And in a sense, sometimes the man acts a little bit more feminine. Just really passive, just really weak. Yeah. I have yet to see a relationship as to where it's like the black man actually superior and he dominates his black woman in that relationship. I don't see it. I just don't see it, man. Meaning that man can do certain things that that woman can't do. And she's totally submissive to it. She walk out the house with some clothes that he don't approve of, and he checking her, him reprimanding her and telling her, "Nah, sweetie, I want you to go back in the house, and I want you to put something a little bit more modest on." I don't see that. Most of these relationships I see, black relationships, the woman wearing anything she want to wear. Super duper tight jeans, shirts that's showing her cleavage off, all this extra makeup, weave. You see that in black relationships and marriages. If I'm in a marriage, a woman is not wearing no weave, not wearing no yoga pants, super tight clothes, promiscuous looking clothing. Nah, you're going to dress modest, or you're not my woman. If you see me on the street with a woman with some yoga pants on, that's not my girl. She's just there for a season, a catch and release. Because she rebellious anyway. She's not going to listen. 9 times out of 10, I'll talk to a woman about wearing modest clothes. But in America, it's just, women are just way too gullible. And it's just too much of a negative influence for them to listen to their man, hearken to their man, capitulate, and be a virtuous woman. Because women aren't virtuous in America. We live in Babylon, and us as brothers, we can't forget that. You see? So, yeah, just that healthy hate, it's okay. You should be palatable to a healthy hate, to having this healthy hate. And in a sense, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because what white people want us to do is just disregard our past as being like immaterial or something, like it doesn't matter, like it's irrelevant. But conscious and introspective brothers know what's up, and we know the truth. They want us to sweep our history under the rug. That won't be forgotten. Real brothers will never let that be forgotten. Never. You see? Yeah, so it's like I look at a lot of brothers. I was watching the first 48 the other day. I haven't watched that show in like 5 years. Just because to me it's just depressing. But I see a lot of young black brothers toting illegal guns, selling drugs. You know, you got these black detectives or whatever locking these young black men up. It's just a sad deal. In there with white police officers, and they're just totally palatable to it. Locking young black men up, white people, the CIA and FBI putting dope on the streets in black communities, putting illegal guns in our communities and black communities. So there would be a destruction for black men. Therefore, there would be no progress. You see? And ignorant young black brothers, because I used to be one of them as well, we would participate in complicit activity and therefore hinder our potential advancements in our communities. You see? Because nobody is putting that dope in our hands to sell it. But it's like, if it's hard to get jobs, if you deindustrialize our jobs in black communities and you outsource them to other white people, then make it hard for us to get jobs. And then it's dope out here. You get a lot of guys who are making fast money. Of course, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to sell drugs. If I'm not a conscious and introspective brother, if I don't know what's going on when it comes down to the system and what they're doing to us as white people, what they're doing to us, if I don't know no better, I don't care. Of course, I'm just going to follow suit. And in a sense, brothers like that who know better, they are problems for the black community. They are problems. They are keeping the black community down. Brothers like that. You see, I mean, there's no excuses for brothers like that either. And, yeah, man. So, it's deep. It's deep. And as I look at slavery, black women, they still got the upper hand when it came down to slavery. Yeah, they went through a lot of stuff, but they didn't go through as nearly much stuff as black men went through. You see? It doesn't even compare. It doesn't compare. We didn't enslave black women when it came down to feminism. Us black men, we never enslaved black women. We didn't have nothing to do with that feminism stuff. That was something that the white woman had going on with her white men. But in order for white men to, in a sense, disenfranchise black men or, in a sense, disfigure the black community, was to get that black woman on board as well through government incentives, not needing black men, kicking them out of the household, WIC, HUD, child support, public housing. So the black woman, women are gullible, so she took that, replacing the black man, kicking the black man out of the household, getting thrown on child support. This is one of the reasons as to why black men, we have a bad rap sheet when it comes down to non-black women. They say things like, no, I won't date a black man because he's known for not fathering his kids. A bad rap. And this is how the white man wants it to be. You see, the destruction of the black man. I need to do a video on that as well. Government incentives for the black woman. So we don't need to be defending black women, because look at what she's done. See? Anything happens on the street to a black woman, you don't need to go help her and defend her. She doesn't need, indirectly, this is what she said. I don't need you, black man. I got these government incentives that were handed down to me from the white man. So I don't need you. I'll take HUD, child support, WIC, public housing, Section 8. Yeah, I'll take that. I kick you out of the household. I don't need you. A plan of the white man. And it worked well because my mom and aunties, man, they've been on Section 8 for like 15 years. One of my aunties, she was waiting like happily for Section 8. She was bragging about it for years. I was like, what is this? I didn't know what it was until I got older. You see? I got family members who sell food stamps. $700-800 worth of food stamps, they selling them for drugs or for other things. That's insane, man. I haven't had no man in 10 years, 15 years. Sad. They have dudes that they've been sleeping around with, but they haven't had no man. And that's the destruction of the black community. The black man was set up by the white man. So it's this healthy hate, man. And it's good to have it. That'll keep you hitting on all cylinders. Us as men, shout out to my man Last Crucible. I know I kind of bounce around here. But us as men, you'd be compromised when you look up to your woman or your kids as God. God can't use you then. The Most High can't use you. And that's the problem with a lot of us black men. We don't know how to let a woman go. Or the kids go. We don't know how to let our kids go or a woman go. We have to learn to sacrifice that woman if she's insanely rebellious, or those kids. I know it may sound bad, but I mean, hey, the Most High, He'll give you more. Shout out to the Last Crucible. Yeah, He'll give you more. Because with rebellious kids and a rebellious woman, it's almost like it's just those kids' future, they're just headed for destruction. They're headed for destruction. You see? A woman must submit. And those kids must submit as well. A lot of us, some of us brothers out here, we're compromised. This is touching on another subject. But some of us brothers out here, we're just compromised because we are so thirsty and desperate for vagina, and in a sense, or being in a relationship, so in a sense that'll alter our way of life in a negative way, in a negative aspect. Because some brothers out there, they'll put themselves in precarious situations. You see? As far as getting with a rebellious woman, just so thirsty and so desperate for sex or afraid to be alone, they'll get with a woman that'll treat them like trash. And in a sense, that'll drive you insane. That'll create a simp and a weak man out of you right away. Because you're so desperate, you don't know how to be alone. Or you're so thirsty for sex, so you'll just get up with any woman. Or you'll allow a woman to treat you like trash. That's insanity. Like, that's just going crazy. And believe me, I was like that. Us as black men, we need to raise our standards. I was talking to one of my boys, on the phone, and he was like, because I was telling him I was dismissing a lot of single mothers and fat women. He was like, "Oh man, your standards are too high. You picky." Right there, in a sense, I almost wanted to hang up the phone on him. But then again, I said to myself, he's a blue pill brother. He doesn't know any better. So I gave him this little speech, and me and him, we still disagreed. I just moved on for the conversation because I know this brother. He just don't get. He okay with taking care of another man's seed, spending his money on another man's seed, or he's okay with being with a fat chick because his mom is fat, his sisters is fat, his aunties is fat. Everybody's fat, so he's accepted it. And in a sense, he's fat. I told him, like, listen, brother, you're kind of overweight, you're obese, so you could be okay with being with a woman like that. You can go get with a chunky chick, but not me. Not me. No, I'm not going like that. Mm-hmm. You got some men out there that'll defend it. Some men like it. Nah, no, they don't. If they have the choice to pick between a woman that's 150 pounds and in shape, nice, versus a woman that's 225, chunky, most men is going to pick that woman that's in shape, even if he's fat. And he can be with that woman, and that woman not going nowhere. He's going to pick that woman that's in shape. Because from the optic standpoint, she looks better, and she's healthier. In a sense, she has her mind right as well. Well, when it comes down to taking care of herself physically. You see? I look at like you see some of these white people who would try to act black, so-called black. I would say yes, they're charlatans and frauds. Because if black men were to go to war with white men, in a sense, I'm a pro-black, pro-patriarchal brother. All these white people, they would be on the side of white people. Like, they would take white people's side. And black men would stand on the side of black men's side. Now, if you got some of these white people out here who try to act black, like Eminem, and we in a war, and they ask him, okay, Eminem, whose side you going to take? You going to get on the white people's side, or you going to fight, or the black people's side, or you going to fight? Most likely, he going to go over there with white people. And I totally respect him for doing that. Because he's white. But it's almost like you as a white, you're white and you're trying to be black and you're trying to act black. It's almost like you're fake. Cultural appropriation. You're fake. Because knowing if we go to war, you're going to fight for your white people. If I see a white man like Eminem and we go to war and he say, you know what, I'm going to go over there and fight with black people, he a real one. He just might be a real one. He might be a real one. White people will look at him in disgust. Like, what? You going over there and fight for black people when you're white? I would look at that brother and I would say, you know what, you the man. You're different. You're standing out. Because you're standing for what's right. You're standing against racism. You truly know what racism is. You're standing for what's right. But we know that's not going to happen. You see? So for us black men to have healthy hate against white men, that's totally okay. And matter of fact, that's good. That's healthy for you. You see? Most white people, they're afraid of retribution. They know we are superior as far as men. They know. Look at all the natural resources and stuff like that are in Africa. This is why Chinese and white people, and especially white people, they oppress black men with white supremacy, because Africa is the motherland. We have all the natural resources. Coltan, which is the for lack of better words, material that they use to make these cell phones or whatever. It's some mineral over there. That's what it is. Some mineral over there. It's called coltan. And it's really expensive, and it's highly valuable. Highly valuable. A lot of those mines over there are all in Africa over there. So this is why Chinese people are immigrating and inundating Africa, because they know that is it's just a gold mine over there in Africa. You got a lot of African men over there, black men over there, who are selling themselves out. You see? That's why white people, they press white supremacy upon black men, because they know if we were to get over there to Africa and really make some strides, it would be a major problem. Black men would take over the world. And they don't want that. They can't have that. They can't have that. No. This is why they destroyed the black man's image. They don't want us to have nobody to look up to. Guys like Bill Cosby destroyed his legacy. R. Kelly destroyed his legacy. Guys like Prince, Prince was, to me, he was kind of confused. I'm not sure about Prince. Michael Jackson too. He's just kind of confused to me. But that's why they had to eradicate brothers like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They don't want no major strides. They don't want us to look up to nobody, to black men. And like I see a lot of these movies nowadays that's like female led, well, like black women led. Queen and Slim. They got the new James Bond coming out, and it's going to be a black woman is going to be shadowing James Bond now. So now I'm done with James Bond. Now it's going to be a woman that's going to be the lead actor, a black woman. I checked out some picture on Facebook, and it had this big drawing of Rosa Parks or something like that on some big huge building. On the side of the building, see, they uplifting the women. They're not going to uplift black men. You know why? Because they don't want black men to have somebody to look up to. See, women, they aren't nothing. What can women do? Women, they aren't concerned about politics and, like changing the world and this and that. No, so that's why the white man, he'll uplift black women. He'll uplift black women. Because, a black woman or a homosexual black man, he can't do nothing. Us, as black men, as heterosexual black men, we are the biggest threat to white supremacy. You see? We are the biggest threat, brothers. So this is why it's almost like, brother, you get that testosterone going. Go lift them weights. Exercise. Be a man. Be a man. That's what it's all about. Fight, be tough, and be a man. That's what it's all about. Spike them testosterone levels. Put your woman in her place. If she ain't trying to hit, off her fast. Us as black men, we have to raise our self-esteem. This is something that we must do. All right, I'm going to switch on to something else. I should make this to another video, but it's just, within the past 2 weeks, it's like you living this life and you learn certain things, and you just learn certain things, you go on. I think about men like my grandpa. We had high testosterone. Back in the days, they didn't put a lot of, back in the days, our ancestors, of course, black men, they were tougher. They didn't deal with a woman's bad attitudes or whatever. They didn't have social media back in the days. They didn't. So a woman would get with a man and she would stick with that man. Nowadays, you got the social media, POF and Tinder and Snapchat, all these different sources, as to where it could, like, in a sense, these social media platforms, they've compromised the woman because it's easier for her to cheat or for her to entertain different penises. You see, our male ancestors, black male ancestors, they were they were stronger and they were tougher. Nowadays, they put all this garbage in the food that we eat, man. Estrogen, they put estrogen, I think they put estrogen in food that we eat nowadays. Making us as men even softer. They're making us soft. You can look at it through a lot of hip hop music. A lot of hip hop